We have Fox Weather hurricane specialist Bryan Norcross. Bryan joining us from the National Tropical Weather Conference that takes place every year at South Padre Island, Texas. But Bryan, I know you also listening to the numbers and also listening to that update. La Nina out, neutral in.
Yeah, all expected, I would say. That I was talking to Phil Klotzbach this morning because I was trying to remember, Ian and I were talking about yesterday or the day before, when was the last time that we had a forecast for below normal? And you know when that was? That was 3 years ago. It was 2023, because that was an El Nino year. But the big difference that year is, first of all, the El Nino was relatively strong, going to be relatively strong, and that was the forecast. But the Atlantic was initially warmer than it is right now, and eventually, by the summer, got super warm and overcame the negative effects of the El Nino. So we had a different year the way it ended up. But that was the last time there was a below normal forecast in April.
With that below normal forecast, we know how things ended up playing out, Bryan. Wondering, with this outlook, being that it's so early in the season, it's driven in part by what the equatorial Pacific will do. And we look at the waters in the Atlantic Basin, and they're cooler than average.
Yeah, so if the Atlantic is not going to be super supportive, especially in the tropical belt, if you look at the Atlantic, what you see is that the tropics are kind of neutral to relatively cool, but to the north, and so this is the current water temperature. That's not really what we want to see. What we want to see is this one, how it compares to average. And you notice it's a little coolish, and then there's a few little warm patches. Generally, that's just about average. So we're not going to get extra support for development in the tropical belt. Now, to the north, it's super warm. So if it stays this way, storms that form down to the south, if they survive and maybe turn north, then they will have more energy than normal. But across the tropical belt, from the Atlantic into the Caribbean and so forth, that's relatively cool. So what that means is that what goes on in the Pacific, the El Nino, and depending on the strength of the El Nino, that should dominate what happens to the Atlantic season, because it doesn't have the Atlantic support one way or the other. So the way this is going, and the reason that is because the air rises in the Pacific. You get warmer water, that makes air rise, and it has to come down. So it goes up and it comes down over the Atlantic, and it tends to suppress activity there. It also comes down on the other side of the Pacific, by the way, and can suppress activity over there as well. So these are big circulations called Walker circulations in the atmosphere, and that's why we pay attention to that. The Pacific is so big, and this area of warm water that warms south of Hawaii is so big that it changes the direction that the flow in the atmosphere is, that affects weather all around the world, and notably, of course, in the Atlantic, but also across the U.S. and Europe and everywhere else.
And I think, if nothing else, Bryan, for people who aren't familiar with this outlook from Colorado State University, and eventually we'll get one from NOAA as well, taking the numbers with a grain of salt, right? We always talk about it's really just about impact, and even one can be problematic. You are there at the conference in South Padre Island, but it's not just you, it's other tropical forecasters. I believe also you were talking to Ian about how Michael Brennan, the director of the National Hurricane Center, is there. When we talk about getting ready for the season, have you heard more about how even the NHC is going to be gearing up? AI was a big conversation last year. It was experimental last year. Could we see changes with that going into this season?
Well, I don't think we're going to see any changes with AI. They're definitely going to pay attention to it. It's going to be a big part of the thinking in terms of the forecast. But, it has one really good season under its belt. I mean, one spectacular season, the Google DeepMind model under its belt. But everybody is a little bit, okay, let's see if it does it again. And if it starts off strong, then I think we're going to see a lot of attention paid to it when they make their forecast. But they're also going to use it this year for the first time, combined with other models, to try and optimize what are called the consensus. So that's typically what we look at. We don't look at any one model. We look at the consensus. But the question is, how do you combine this information to give us the best forecast? And there's a lot of work being done, but that's going to be part of the suite this year. Other than that, the message is a strong, strong message from the Hurricane Center, emergency managers that are here at the National Tropical Weather Conference, and pretty much everybody you talk to in the hurricane zone is we prepare for every season like it's going to be a terrible season. We don't know because really it only takes one, as everybody that's been hit by a hurricane over the last several years knows, that the one terrible day they had changes their lives for a long time. So that's all it takes, and whether we have fewer of them or we don't have any of them, we hope we don't have any, but maybe we have one. And for the people that get hit by that, if they didn't prepare or take the normal steps that you would take in any other season, then it's not going to be a good situation for them.
Anytime that we talk about AI, Bryan, it takes me back to the conversation we all had here in Studio W, and you talked about how AI is not just some historical reference. It's a machine learning, and it figures out different possibilities that may have never happened in the past. But with Colorado State University's outlook that was just published, they do offer analogs, which are past years that maybe this season is beginning to resemble. Could you go into a few of those? I know that we talk about 2023. That was one that was highlighted among their list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, well, they do a whole variety of things. They look at different typical computer models that forecast what the weather is going to be like. Usually they say the computer models forecast some months in advance how rainy it's going to be. So they're forecasting unusually dry across the Atlantic tropics, and so that's one of the things that contributes to the idea of a lower forecast. They also go back, as you said, and look at past years where the weather pattern had some similarity. 2023 was one of them, and that turned out to be a pretty busy year, but from a U.S. standpoint, that was the Idalia year. So it wasn't nothing, but it wasn't an Ian year or some other thing like that. It was also, if you remember, the Otis and Hillary year on the West Coast. So you had that warm water in the Pacific that made the West Coast especially threatened that year. So they do that. This year, for the first time, they have an AI model that they're also looking at, and it essentially uses the machine learning to analyze these past years. I think that this is going to be the future of seasonal forecasting, because what we learn with now learning more and more about how the Google DeepMind model and the other AI models work is that, as you said, Stephen, it's not that they're just looking in the past for a situation like this and then grabbing that and saying, okay, that happened before, that's what's going to happen now. What they do is they say, oh, this looks a little bit like that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, and these other 50 past situations that has an element of them, and then it combines what it learns from those things, and it makes a forecast and a prediction, so it is just a much more sophisticated search of the database, essentially, to come up with a new conclusion. And that's why we see conclusions from AI, not just in weather, but in other pursuits where it finds solutions that never had been found before in human use of whatever the tool is, whether it's in biology or it's game playing or whatever. It finds those because it gleans little bits of information from past events and then assembles them in some kind of new way. So anyway, that's why this works so well for weather, and I'm very optimistic that as we move forward that we're going to get more out of AI, and more of these kinds of forecasts are going to be done by AI as the systems become more and more sophisticated and we learn more and more about them.
Yeah, I mean, it was really fascinating to watch last season and how AI performed, not just with track, but also intensity forecasts. And I know you played a role. You were consulted with Google DeepMind in that model. Okay, real quick, Bryan, before I leave you. So obviously, for meteorologists, we do look at the CSU forecast, and we do use it as one way to help guide us through the season, perhaps, and how to navigate it and insight. But if you're not a meteorologist, you're at home, and you're just a resident of, let's say, Miami or somewhere along the Atlantic seaboard.
Casper, Wyoming. No,
Casper, yeah. But how do you, let's take it out there. How do you interpret, how do you look at the forecast, and, what do you walk away with from these numbers with CSU?
Well, if you live in the hurricane zone, you know the hurricane season starts June 1st. you know what you should be doing in the spring, and we don't have to talk about all that. It's the same stuff you do every year. There's really no difference for somebody in the hurricane zone. This does also affect the weather on the West Coast. We have a strong El Nino, by the way. I was talking to folks on our Phoenix TV station yesterday about the changes in the desert Southwest and how this summer it can delay the monsoon, and then you can get very strong monsoon, but in the winter they have quite different weather, much cooler and wetter weather, for example, along the West Coast and in the desert Southwest. So it does have effect all over the United States. The strong El Nino really does change the weather. But for the hurricane zone, you prepare for hurricane season. It's coming. There's no change from any other year. This is more of a scientific interest, I guess.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, it kicks off the conversation, and it's never too early to plan ahead. If you're new to an area that's vulnerable, especially to some of these tropical systems, then we're including you into this as we navigate the rest of the season. Bryan, always a good time being able to check in with you. I know we'll be checking in with you in the 11 a.m. hour Eastern time as you are there in South Padre Island, Texas, at the conference there. Thank you, Bryan.
Great insight.
Yeah, I'll be back with Phil. I'll see you then.